One that April with his sure sword, the drucht of March hath pierced to the road, and bather every vine in swish liqueur, of which virtue engendered is the flour. One Zephyrus eke with his sway to breath, in spirit hath in every holt and hath the tender croppies, and the younger son hath in the ram his half a coursey run, and smaller followers maken melody, that slepen all the nich with open so pricketh him nature in her courages, then longing men to go on pilgrimages, and palmers for to sake, stranger strands, to fairna hallways, couth and sondren lawns, and specially from every sheerest end of England to Canterbury they wende, the holy blissful martyr for to sake, that him hath holpen, one that they were sake. Mr. Speaker, I just read from the Canterbury Tales, and I'm not sure how many of us would have understood that. I memorized that years ago. That was in English. There's a fundamental problem with the bill that's in front of us, and that is there's a phrase we sometimes use, which is that you can't legislate morality. You also can't legislate language. Language is a living thing, and trying to stick a pin in it legislatively is simply folly. Language changes over time. Language is not fixed. Language is not uniform. When we use the word English, we are using a word as a rough convention for a broad spectrum of linguistic activities. This is a fundamentally anti-intellectual moment for this chamber. We use the word ebonics for some dialects in America. I grew up in England, where thee and thou are still used by street children in Yorkshire. In fact, the phrase for be quiet in Yorkshire is shut a face, which you'll notice has the word thy in it still. So I would suggest to this body that this is a fundamentally wrong-headed endeavor today. Not only is it a wrong-headed effort, it's an exclusionary effort, and it excludes two groups that I find shocking to think about excluding. The first is those who are deaf, who speak American Sign Language, which is, as anyone in the deaf community will tell you, a different language than English. And the second is people who are immigrants. Immigration has always been America's superpower. We know that immigrants work hard. They try really hard to succeed. That is what has made this country great. My immigrant grandparents worked a whole lot harder than I do. And my immigrant grandparents didn't speak English. I, to my shame, no longer can credibly speak Dutch. The fact of the matter is, this is a self-solving problem. You can't find third-generation Italian immigrants in America who don't speak English. You can't find third-generation German immigrants in America who don't speak English. And you won't be able to find third-generation immigrants from Guatemala who don't speak English. Our country is very good at incorporating differences. If we start being a country that signals that we shun differences and that we do not welcome diversity, which has always been our strength, this is a dark moment for our republic when we go down this road. Thank you.